Ignoring the bad faith discourse surrounding it, because those people need to grow the fuck up, Nolan's The Odyssey is an epic masterpiece that deserves to be seen on the biggest screen possible. There's no way around it. It's just that good. Of course, this being one of the few books I was forced to read in high school that I ended up really enjoying. Like me, I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with the story of The Odyssey and each of its recognizable chaptered adventures. This being one of the most retold stories ever, and I was afraid Nolan's retelling would input some of his trademark Nolanisms, messing with time in a way that confused the story and made it needlessly complex. Yet, minor spoilers I wouldn't want to know going in, it's a much more straightforward movie than I ever imagined. Obviously, there's still some cutting back and forth, but that's more so about pacing, which in this is next level. I'm talking 3 hours of tight, lean movie without an ounce of fat to be cut. Something that makes even more sense once you consider that Jennifer Lame, the film's editor, had to cut it down to that runtime, as 70mm IMAX theaters don't have the technical ability to show anything longer than that 3-hour time frame. I'd be happy to watch a 5-hour cut of this right now, adding in characters that didn't get a look in, but that would be a disservice to the masterwork Lame displayed here. You know what? I'm just gonna call her Jennifer, because it's all thanks to Jennifer's keen eye, along with the sound mixing, acting, and production all coming together in this jaw-dropping balletic dance, that the final act of this movie was able to be so satisfying, tying together every loose plot thread and making it all worth it, in a third act that felt like it could have been a movie of its own, but was the perfect place to finalize the journey these characters had gone through. No spoilers, but most of you know what I'm talking about. Sure, I might have walked away with an awfully similar takeaway from Nolan's last picture 3 years ago, but this takes the simpler approach to a world falling into anarchy, this time because they forgot the golden rule, all wrapped up with an optimistic ending where the world might just learn the same lesson this movie is telling: to be kind to strangers. A message I cannot get enough of nowadays. And before moving on to some spoiler talk, I just want to take a minute to do something that will never be necessary, but the internet will never be tired of: rankings. Because part of me thinks I should just go out on a limb and say it's Nolan's best. It's up there with his best as far as emotionally gripping moments or combining innovative camera and effects work to create genuinely stunning scenes that make me realize the theater experience has still got it. And as far as an all-encompassing narrative from beginning to end, dare I say it, that this might actually be Nolan's best. But I don't want to go that far. It's in contention against Interstellar, Inception, and The Dark Knight for me, and it's 100% just recency bias that's bringing The Odyssey up in rank for me. And again, it's not like I even need to rank these in the first place, but this is the internet. If not me, somebody will. And the more I think about it, the better this movie gets. Plus, I'm a big fan of cool action, convincing, sometimes even visceral effects, and weighty drama that makes me feel something. So for that very reason, I'm just gonna say it is his best, and I guess time will tell if I'm right. Regardless though, it's time for some spoilers. And in that, there's only one thing I wanted to bring up: how shocking and stunning a lot of these sequences were. As mentioned, none of the character inclusions themselves were jaw-dropping, but rather it was their faithful depictions that had me falling in love with it, because I expected a grounded take skewed closer to an "Oh brother, where art thou?", where Polyphemus is John Goodman with an eye patch. Nolan being Nolan, his Odyssey isn't devoid of metaphor. In fact, a large component of the overarching story is all about that, but there's so much more straight up magic than I expected, shown in a gritty world on the ground perspective, and making that magic horrifically terrifying, as it rightfully would be to a normal person who's just trying to survive amongst all this, but not for a second shying away from the mythology of the story we all knew, with an imaginative and modern distortion to first fit it all in this world Nolan was depicting, and second, to make it as epic as possible, like a horrific giant cyclops who you know was brought to life with the one purpose of recreating that one messed up image of Saturn devouring his sun. And it took me so long to get this video out that Nolan has already confirmed that to be the case. Or Circe transforming Odysseus' men with grotesque body horror I never thought Nolan was capable of. Or the Lystragonians draconians, who I remember seeing in the trailer and perking up at the notion of, but never in my wildest dreams could I have pictured they'd actually be 15 feet tall with a magical forest and all. But everyone involved committed, and it just worked. But do you agree? Was the Odyssey as enjoyable for you? Drop a comment down below with your thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly video essays and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.